excited. This is my first time here at NAMM, and I've wanted to come for many years, so thanks for bringing me out. And
Excellent.
so exciting to get to play this brand new guitar.
Excellent. Well, we are very excited to have you here. We're very excited about the collaboration. And Molly, you've had a long connection with Martin Guitars. And let's maybe start with a story you shared with us when we met you, and you talked about your first Martin. You want to share it maybe here? It's so beautiful.
Yeah, totally. So I started playing guitar when I was 8 years old, and my father has taught music in the Bay Area in a music store in Palo Alto called Griffin Stringed Instruments since he moved out there from Illinois in the 70s. In the late 70s, he moved out to California, started teaching bluegrass to people all over California, but especially in the Bay Area. And so I grew up going to this music store and just being surrounded by amazing instruments, both like around the house and when I would go into the store where my dad worked. So from an early age, I knew I wanted to play the guitar. And when I was 8 years old, I picked up a guitar for the first time. And I was, my hands were pretty small and I was like a little kid. So my dad brought me home this baby Taylor guitar. And that was my first one. But all my favorite guitar players played Martins, and those were just like the pinnacle for me. I dreamed of playing a Martin and, kind of owning my own Martin someday. So when I got a little older, I kind of, had a couple different guitars. I think I needed a bigger guitar, so I got a Blue Ridge guitar that I really liked too, but I still coveted these Martins. So I started playing shows and playing, even like busking around Palo Alto where I grew up. We would play like on the street corner, me and my brothers and my dad, and any gigs we could find at like the local pizza shop. And I started saving up my money to buy my first Martin guitar. And so I went into the shop, into Griffin Stringed Instruments, and I found one that I really loved. It was a HD28V, so it had the Adirondack Spruce top, and it was the rosewood guitar. And I still remember the serial number because I stared at it so much and I memorized it. It was 997250. And I just looked at it every day. And the store told me, like, if you can save up $2,000, we'll give you a discount. We'll give you a deal on this guitar. And that was a pretty good deal. So I finally, after like a couple of years, I remember I asked my grandparents for Christmas. I was like, all I want is money for my guitar. I think they gave me $200, which definitely helped. And I was just busking. And even I started teaching lessons sometimes to kids, teaching them basic chords and stuff. And so after a couple of years, I had my $2,000. I pulled it out. Some of it was in my bank account that I had. Some of it was just like loose money from busking. I pulled it all and I went into the store with $2,000 in cash. And the people at the store, the owner, Richard, he counted it all up, made sure I had it, and then handed me my Martin guitar. So it was such an exciting moment for me and kind of taught me that if I worked hard, I could achieve these dreams, and taught me the value of these amazing instruments. And so I finally had the guitar that I dreamed of, and I played it for many years, and then I ended up buying I sold it to my aunt, and I bought a vintage Martin when I went to college. And so yeah, it was kind of like my first foray into buying my own guitar. It was awesome, yeah.
What a wonderful story. And so we have two signature models. One is a D18 made in the US, and then we have a D-X2E made in Mexico. The inspiration for these guitars were from your 1943 D18.
Yeah.
Why that guitar, and why was that such a great guitar for these ones?
Yeah, so I think we've been talking about and sort of planning out these guitars for the past year. And last May, I bought this vintage Martin. And like I'd said before, I bought an old 40s D18 when I went to college. And then I tried to tour with it, and it was just hard to, take it on the road because it didn't have a truss rod. And I felt like I was sort of doing the guitar a disservice by, traveling with it so much, and it was getting this wear and tear. So I ended up selling it, and I've played newer guitars ever since. But when I recorded my album about a year ago, a little over a year ago now, I was just missing that vintage sound. So I decided I wanted to get a studio guitar and kind of like get my dream guitar to keep at home mostly and play on recording sessions and on my own record. So I found this amazing 43 D18, and I knew I wanted a 40s Martin because I love the 40s style necks, and the 1 11/16 necks are just really comfortable for me. And I just so happened to find a D18 that I loved. It has like the perfect kind of balance of the dry D18 kind of focused tone that I love in the studio, but it's also really resonant and has that vintage sound to it. And yeah, I just totally fell in love with this guitar. So I emailed Thomas and the folks at Martin, and I was like, hey, it would be cool to incorporate some of these, you know, vintage specifications into the signature model. And we were kind of midway through planning it. So then we shifted a couple things around. We landed on changing it to mahogany, and then a couple of the other features were more in line with the vintage style of guitar building, the rear shifted bracing and the neck width. And you were saying that this is the first time they've done a DX model with the kind of 40s style neck, the thinner neck and the V-shaped neck. So that was exciting for me to get to be a part of that. And I think I love those necks because when I was a kid, my dad had a 40s Martin around the house, and it was my favorite guitar to play when I was practicing. So I just got used to that neck shape and style, and it's really comfortable. I think it's just a little slimmer than, you know, the 30s necks to me feel so big and just kind of, I don't know, it's hard to wrap my hand around them sometimes.
Yes, you made these guitars truly yours, which is beautiful. And even if you look at the inlays, the moon phase inlays, can you talk about that? That's very personal.
That was a fun thing we thought of. I think we were in the Martin showroom in Nashville and talking about just like any special design features. And I had never, you know, kind of worked on something of this scale before. So I was just trying to think what I would want to make it into. And I was looking around and I saw this Johnny Cash signature model guitar, and it had stars for the fret markers. And then I thought it could be really fun to do moons. That kind of inspired that idea. I have a lot of songs that, you know, mention the moon. I feel like the moon is very tied to creativity and inspiration. And I love that as you go up the frets, the moon kind of materializes from a new moon into a full moon, and it kind of helps you keep track of where you are on the guitar. So I thought that was a fun, and I hadn't seen any guitars with that before. So yeah, we all got excited. We were like, let's do it.
Very exciting. And we mentioned the Mexico model, the D-X2E. I think one thing that you were intentional about was you wanted to create models that also can make it into many players' hands, make it more accessible. Can you talk about kind of your thoughts behind that?
Yeah, well, I love having the DX model that's like a little more affordable for more people who like, whether they want a guitar just to play for fun or to play on stage. Like, it sounds so good, you can really take it anywhere. And like I was telling in that story, like I kind of, you know, grew up playing different types of guitars. Some of them were a lot more affordable, and I think it was nice for me to have those stepping stones to really kind of, you know, start on a smaller one and then just slowly build up to the guitar that I saved up for and that I kind of dreamed of. So for me, it's always important that anyone who, you know, wants to own a great instrument can have access to it. So I love having the DX models that's just a little more kind of available for people.
That's great. And you have many, many fans out there, and they will be very excited to have them available. So we have these two models, your models. If you think about the players that may get them into their hands, what do you hope these guitars will unlock for them?
Yeah, well, I mean, I hope that these can unlock, you know, new ideas, new kind of sources of inspiration for people. I feel like anytime I get a new guitar, I instantly want to, you know, see what ideas it holds and see what new songs I could write on it. And just having this one in my hands today, I haven't really gotten to play these. I've played them a little bit, but it's just exciting to have this new instrument, and I'm finding myself like playing different stuff that I wouldn't normally come up with. So I hope it can unlock some of that for other people. And they're definitely kind of like the dreadnought style that's really popular in the bluegrass world. So I hope people take them to their local jam sessions, you know.
Totally. That's what we need.
Yeah, take them to your local bluegrass festival.
Exactly. Well, thank you very much for your honesty and for sharing a little bit kind of the thinking behind these guitars and what's important to you. We are very excited to be working together. The collaboration has been wonderful.
Yeah.
I know we had various sessions, and there was a natural flow to creating these guitars together. So a big thank you.
Thank you.
And since we have Molly here and we want to hear how these guitars actually sound, because it is about the tone, why don't you play a little bit for us?
Yeah, totally.
Take it away.
Mighty good line. There's mighty good chance you'll blow your mind. Each time you hear that whistle blow, I'm smuggling in another load. Riding on the San Joaquin, bringing in some Humboldt green. I'm just rolling down the line, looking for the next hot time. Riding on the San Joaquin. Banging on the boxcar door, brakeman threw me overboard. Hit the ground and clicked my heels, off back in Bakersfield. Riding on the San Joaquin, bringing in some Humboldt green. Watch out for that bully, he'll take your pockets clean, toss you into Hatchapee. When I get to Richmond, I'll be gold, soon as the suitcase is sold. Till then I'm rolling down the line, looking for the next hot time. Riding on the San Joaquin. Well, the railroad queen, she wants to ride, I ain't ready to go. Got a few more hearts to break till I reach the end of the road. Riding on the San Joaquin, fastest you ever seen. And when my riding days are o'er, toss me in the baggage car, put that beaver in the mouth, spark it up and send me south. Riding on the San Thank you. Under that Chickasaw ground, Rosalee, you better run before they hunt you down in Tennessee. Damn that deputy, 'cause a jealous heart ain't worth the cost of hanging from the gallows tree. What if they find out just who fired the gun? Rosalee, you better run. More thorn than rose, how oft they'd say of the girl with the golden hair and braids, raven eyes and a copper kettle, charm the hearts of the best bootleggers. The low brow moved in on the bluff, you laid the law down a little too rough, busting every cake and still till you fell in love with that whiskey gal. I can't have her, no man will. Rosalee, you better run before they hunt you down in Tennessee. Damn that deputy, 'cause a jealous heart ain't worth the cost of hanging from the gallows tree. What if they find out just who fired the gun? Rosalee, you better run. What if they knew Miss Betty Lou and seen him at the dance that night? What if they noticed Otis Johnson begging him not to fight? What if wise old woman with a whiskey jug. Some say saint, some say killer. They never could prove or pull that trigger. Need those cypress roots that wine. The secret died with Bill O'Brien. Follow her to the depths of hell. Mix love and whiskey, it won't end well. Sometimes you can hear him yell, Rosalee, you better run before they hunt you down in Tennessee. Damn that deputy, 'cause a jealous heart ain't worth the cost of hanging from the gallows tree. What if they find out just who fired the gun? Rosalee, you better run.
Thank you, Molly. Thanks again for being
thanks
here.
for having me.
I think we're going to head to the Global Media Days soon, but I think you're open to one or two questions from the audience.
Yep.
Anybody a question?
Advice for finding alternate tunings or for learning? Oh, yeah, writing originals and alternate tunings. Yeah, I mean, for me, when I'm writing songs, sometimes I even like start in standard and then, like this one when I wrote it, it was in standard tuning, that last one I played. And then I thought, oh, it'd be so fun on clawhammer guitar, but I pretty much always go into an open tuning for clawhammer, so then I had to figure out, I don't really know my way around dadgad that well, so I kind of had to figure out how to play the chords in this tuning, but that can be like one of the cool things about playing in a tuning you're not familiar with. You just kind of move your fingers around and try to make something up. Other times when I've written songs in alternate tunings, it's almost like gets me out of my usual tricks that I use in standard. I just find these chord shapes that I didn't even know existed. Half the time I couldn't even tell you what chords I'm playing in alternate tuning. So yeah, I think just experiment. I remember Joni Mitchell was someone who I learned a bunch from because she uses so many alternate tunings. And I had a teacher when I went to music school. I was at Berkeley for a couple of years and had a teacher who had a binder of all her open tunings. So that was kind of my introduction.
Sounds exciting.
Yeah.
Something to discover, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, Molly. Just wondering if you look for any different qualities in a guitar that you might use for flatpicking versus for clawhammer. Is it the same guitar, or are you looking for different things in different instruments for those different styles?
Yeah, sometimes like when I play live, I switch to like a different guitar for clawhammer that can get a bit like louder in a live setting, almost like a more electrified sound, just because I feel like a lot of the rhythmic stuff gets lost with a full band. When I'm playing solo, I think it's nice for me to have slightly lower action on the clawhammer guitar. So like this one feels comfortable because the action is actually a little bit lower on this one than on the other one. So I really like it for kind of being able to, you know, like slap the strings a little bit, and it just makes it easier on my hand to have lower action. So I think just kind of louder in a live setting with a band, and then overall just I like lower action for clawhammer. Yeah.
Break that clawhammer technique down just a little bit like that?
Sure, yeah. So the clawhammer technique, basically I don't know if this is how they came up with the name clawhammer, but for me I'm always like, yeah, your hand kind of goes into this claw shape. And my index finger and my middle finger, these are like new strings, so you can see my hand is sort of like black wherever I'm playing the clawhammer style, but my index fingernail and middle fingernail are hitting down, usually on the higher strings, and when that happens, my thumb is catching on one of the lower strings, and when my hand comes back up, the thumb plucks the string, so. And it's normally done on the banjo, but I learned that you could just kind of take that technique and apply it to the guitar. When I was a teenager, this guy in the Bay Area showed me that you could play clawhammer guitar, and I thought that was really cool because I played clawhammer banjo, and then it was easy to transfer it over to the guitar. But the basic kind of rhythm that a lot of people start out with is called the bum-diddy pattern, so that would be. So just every other time you hit the strings, your thumb plucks. Yeah.
Very good. Maybe two more?
Sure, yeah. electric occasionally. I'm so much more comfortable on acoustic guitar. When I pick up an electric, it feels like this whole other instrument to me, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm so loud all of a sudden. I'm not used to having sustain. So I think just having a different touch, like a lighter touch, especially coming from bluegrass guitar, I hit the guitar pretty hard, so that's really different from what you play on, how people play on electric. I remember when I used to play electric a little bit more, I was constantly breaking strings just because I was hitting it like it was an acoustic guitar, so I sort of had to learn to back off a little bit. But yeah, I think these days that's been one of my goals for a while, is to get better at electric guitar, but I still don't. It's totally outside my comfort zone, so I'll play it for fun around the house, and then occasionally I've played it on stage, but it's not what I'm the best at, but I'd like to get better at it. Yeah.
But you're also exceptional on the double neck.
Oh, the double neck, yes. They surprised me with, have you seen the Martin double neck? It's crazy. I've been playing it in my shows since I got it last fall. It's been so much fun. At first I was like, I don't know if I can do this. It's a lot of strings to tune, and then when I switch necks, it's like hard to get to the right string, but you kind of get used to it, and it's been so much fun.
You definitely can do that. Yeah.
Molly, I know you've been playing a lot of shade top guitars. Is the 43 that this is based off of your actual ones in a shade top as well, or is that just your choice to have shade top?
Yeah, this is kind of like a hybrid of the 43 that I bought that's not a shade top, and then just the guitars I've been playing on stage for years now, because for whatever reason, like, I remember when I was a kid, I didn't like Sunburst guitars that much. I was really kind of like a purist about, you know, no Sunburst, and then I just gradually started to really like them, and now I feel like they're so pretty, and it's kind of unique in a way. Like this one, I love the dark Sunburst, and that's kind of what I've gravitated towards. And so, yeah, my vintage Martin that it's based on isn't a Sunburst, but I just kind of like having that little unique look to it. It feels like me because I've been playing them for so long now. Yeah.
Awesome. Let's give another round of applause for Molly.